Welcome back to BTN Live. Rick Pizzo, Gerry DiNardo. Now, Gerry is known as a BTN football analyst. That's a pretty easy title, but I'm sure you've had some titles throughout the course of your career were a little bit more wordy, a little bit less easy to understand.
Rick, where are we going with this is my fear.
Well, I have a very interesting segue here because we're going to welcome in our next guest, Curtis Blackwell, from our campus studio at Michigan State. And here's where I'm going, Gerry.
Right.
Curtis's title, and Curtis, please correct me if I'm wrong on this. Your official title is Director of College Advancement and Performance / Camp Director for Michigan State. Did I get that right?
You got it right.
All right. Now that we've had that established and that I've answered Gerry's question, Curtis, I want to know what exactly is it about that position that requires kind of a unique name? What makes your position unique? Because looking around the Big Ten, it doesn't appear that every school has a position like this.
Well, Coach D'Antonio said he wanted someone that could be a game changer. So he needed someone that can help fill in the void in terms of what was going on in the, during the season and the off season in terms of recruiting, camps, and helping making sure that the coaches had the support they needed to deal with the accelerated process in recruiting nowadays. So that's how I got the long title, to kind of fill in all of those areas for the football staff.
Curtis, explain to us what you spend most of your time doing.
My biggest thing is utilizing my relationships to help Michigan State football recruit better, and also creating opportunities to make sure that we have ways to get young people on campus. So unofficial visits are like one of the things that I really prioritize, because the unofficial visits are the biggest part of the recruiting process right now.
Curtis, you and I have talked about these unofficial visits, and it's really become even more important than the official visits. Unofficial visits being visits that are paid for by the prospect themselves. Official visits obviously are paid for by the university. Why are these unofficial visits so important, and perhaps more important nowadays than ever before in college football?
Because young people are making decisions in terms of where they go to school prior to signing day, prior to taking their official visit. So the unofficial visit is really the official visit. And if you don't have that type of mentality, you're going to be behind in recruiting. So that's the reason why I was brought here, to help that process along.
I can recall when Michigan came to play at Spartan Stadium, I want to say you had maybe 100 unofficial visits that day. What was very interesting about that is how many young people, meaning not seniors, not juniors. Take us through how you're recruiting younger players now than maybe ever before.
Well, Gerry, our biggest goal is to touch young people first. We want their first opportunity to experience college football to happen right here in East Lansing. So we're going after those guys and giving them a great experience so that their impression of college football begins in East Lansing. And that was our goal, to touch at least 1,000 young people during the fall. And we did that. And then we also had a great year, and so we were able to really ride that momentum throughout the offseason right now.
Now, Curtis, the second half of your title is Camp Director. Where does that title come in? What does that entail in terms of your job requirements and responsibilities?
Well, really, we are really focused on trying to evaluate young people, and the first opportunity we get to evaluate in person and live is at camps. And so my prior background, I ran camps for about 10 years in the city of Detroit, Florida, Texas, all across the country. And so I brought that with me to East Lansing. And so right now what I'm doing is working on ways to create the greatest camp experience for young people, and trying to attract the top players across the country to Michigan State to attend our camp so we can really get a good evaluation.
Curtis, Gerry touched on a football game and bringing in recruits. What about other times during the year, unofficial visits from football recruits, but to see other events and other things on the Michigan State campus? How year-round is what you do?
Well, right now, we're really riding a great wave of success here at Michigan State. The basketball team is doing well, so we've created a series of games that we invite young people up to. So every week we'll have at least 30 guys on campus for a basketball game. And then we don't do junior days, we have Spartan days, and those Spartan days are on the weekends, and we invite guys from grades 9 through 12 to come up and experience not only the campus life, but also the game day atmosphere of the #3 basketball team in the country. So that's phase one. phase 2 is spring ball. So we'll have some special spring practices and spring scrimmages on Saturdays where we'll actually invite young people up to actually see and experience the actual installation process of the new season and the young guys moving up to get more playing time, and then also sit in on some meetings with the staff. And then the third phase is the camp phase, which we just discussed. So between those three things, we might get some young people to come up for a basketball game, for a spring practice, and then back again for a camp.
Curtis, Michigan State recently has had the reputation of recruiting 2 and 3 stars and making them play like 4 and 5 stars. And yet, right after the Rose Bowl, Coach D'Antonio was on the desk with us, and we asked him what a game win like the Rose Bowl could do and what the season could do for a place like Michigan State. And he made reference to maybe an entree into more 4 and 5 stars. Number one, give us a little bit of your philosophy about the star system, and has the Rose Bowl helped you do what Coach D'Antonio hoped that it would, and that means get involved with 4 and 5 star players?
Well, first thing, I think, a lot of the star system is based upon perception of, the institution that young person is going to. So a lot of the guys that we have here that we won the championship with, we feel that they're 4 and 5 star guys, and that's the reason why we recruited them. So we will still continue to recruit the type of players that fit Michigan State and the building of the athlete. But however, nationally, I think, Gerry, we are able to really attract guys outside of our region that we normally couldn't reach, because we were able to tell our story on a national level by being a part of the Rose Bowl. And so hopefully some of those national guys will be more interested in us because they saw our story and they saw how successful our program was, and I think they will be more attracted to coming to Michigan State.
All right, finally, Curtis, before we let you go, I like to take notes when we talk to our guests and write down exactly what it is they're doing and what I've learned from the interview. Usually it's 2 or 3 lines. I filled up a page. I think I need to go to the back sheet. So my last question to you is, when do you sleep, my friend?
Man, recruiting is all day, every day. And, I've been doing this for a long time, being from the city of Detroit. That's the mentality we have. We're blue collar. We like to put that work in. And, Michigan State is a great place to be. And, we're not resting. We're still working because we want to be national champs here. And, it's no time to rest.
Curtis Blackwell, a man of many titles and many talents. Curtis, we appreciate the time.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.